Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel and welcome to 2023. So it's another new year and another opportunity to get better at this thing we call life. And I got some ideas. So you might not like your job. You might want to change your job. Well, I have some great opportunities that you might be interested in and you might not have even thought of were a possibility. Over the years, I've had a ton of different jobs in a ton of different fields. So here are some jobs that I've seen over the years that actually pay pretty well, but the barrier to entry actually can be pretty low, and you might not have known this. Now, contrary to popular belief, there's plenty of opportunities out here for a person to make money. So these are three careers that you can get into with little to no experience or a little bit of schooling. I'm not the biggest fan of college, but when it comes to very particular things, there are things that you must go to school for to learn, but these careers can give you a great income if you choose to take that route. So let's go ahead and dive into this video and talk about the first career that can get you paid. All right, the first career is an electrician. So an electrician is pretty much scattered all around the country. There's many different pay brackets, and it's something that you can get into with little or no experience. For the bigger cities, there will be an apprentice program. And for the smaller cities, you can just go to your local company and say you want to be a helper and start off in the field. Whether you have experience or not, starting off as an electrician, young or old, is something that most people can do if they don't mind the physical labor of being an electrician. But once you become a professional, roughly in about 2 years, the pay outweighs anything that you have to go through to get into the field. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics predicts that electrician jobs nationwide will grow around 9% over the next 10 years between 2020 and 2023. Basically, what's going on is cities are growing. As more people come into the country, there's going to be a need to build more buildings, more apartment buildings. In my area alone, apartment complexes are going up like crazy. Every single one of them needs to be wired, and then after they get wired, as things break, there's going to be more of a demand for electricians to come through and fix electrical problems. There's always a median income, but I wouldn't look at the median income for an electrician as a barrier to whether you want to get into it or not. These are technically high-paying fields, especially as time goes on and more people do not want to do these types of jobs. That makes you more valuable when you decide to get into these fields. So I want to show you something real quick. Here is an actual job listing in my area. I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Here's an actual job listing in my area for an electrician. Now, granted, this is not a first-year electrician, but this is the potential of what you could be making as an electrician. You see that figure from upwards of 150,000 a year? This is Michael and Sons. This is one of the companies that does multiple trades in my area: HVAC, carpentry, plumbing, and electrical. If you read right there, it says our highly motivated team members grow their earning potential to over 150K a year. This job, particularly if you have the skill level, has up to a $5,000 sign-on bonus. So if you're in a different career and you wanted to change careers to something that could potentially make more money and you don't mind working with your hands, electrician is, you can't go wrong with being an electrician, let's put it that way. It's one of the fields that I've always wanted to learn, and I'm slowly learning. I do a lot of electrical at work myself. Right now, I'm a property maintenance manager, so I do a lot of electrical myself, hanging lights, changing switches. If breakers are bad, I change them out. So there's a lot of things that I already do electrical, and I'm telling you, it's a very rewarding field, especially for somebody that doesn't really have a direction. If you're thinking, let's say, about going to the Army, you can go be an electrician just as well. Not to say that the Army is bad, but that's just another avenue, especially a young person can take. You go do that, and then within 5 years, you'll be making $75,000, $80,000 easy. I'm no stranger to change. I've changed careers multiple times, multiple businesses. It doesn't really bother me to change, but as I get older, I'm trying to basically develop all my skills to be more valuable no matter where I go or no matter what I do. That's one of the big tricks that I've learned over the years, is learn as much as you can. Technically, you never should stop learning. So when you look back on my YouTube career, I started off my YouTube with a lunch trailer that I had built myself. I had to do the carpentry, I had to do the electrical, and I had to do the plumbing in it. I did everything in it to get that thing up and running. Then I switched over to a box truck. Then I was driving my box truck, another big change. Now I'm a maintenance manager, another big change. Sometimes things change and you just got to move with the changes. But if you are calculated with your changes, you can jump into a field. Like, one of the things I knew from years ago is that I wanted to become more skilled when it comes to houses. Everybody lives in a house. Like I said, apartment complexes are going up everywhere. If I'm skilled in the art of electrical, plumbing, HVAC, carpentry, then I will always have employment. Somebody always needs something fixed because they're not willing to do it themselves, or they might be entrenched in a career that just doesn't allow them to do such things. That's where I come in, or you come in. All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to the second field, which is almost a piggyback off the first field, and that's a solar panel installation technician. Now, green energy is everywhere now, and it's not slowing down. Some states are even factoring in green renewable energy into new building codes, which is basically giving you the opportunity to have a field basically built in to the structure of a city. See, right now, this is one of the fields that's experiencing growth, especially as political regulators get into the field and make it law that certain buildings have to meet a certain energy requirement. So as you can see from this side, they're expecting solar to triple over the next 5 years. What that gives you the opportunity to do is get on the ground floor, become a seasoned tech, learn to develop systems, and quickly move up into management level. So once again, I'm gonna show you a real job listings. What I'm showing you is on Indeed. It's in the Richmond market. And mind you, Richmond is not the biggest market. We're a decent sized city, but it's not the biggest city by far. But what I'm showing you is actual Indeed postings in my area for job. So once you get into the field, you can command these types of numbers. So when you see the median income, take that with a grain of salt, like I said. But here's what a person that knows what they're doing in the field actually is making, or what they're willing to pay right now in my area. And my area is not the biggest area. Looking at this particular job, that's $1,100 to $1,500 a week. That's $57,000 to $78,000 a year. And that's just a regular tech. That's not management level or somebody that has supreme experience in the field. That's what you grow over time, though. You don't start off with that. But as far as somebody who is young, looking for some job that's better than minimum wage, our minimum wage just went up in Virginia. Anybody that's looking for something better than that, or a skilled profession that makes you more valuable, this is a perfect thing to get into. See, that's one of the things we have to do in 2023. We have to develop our own skills and make ourselves more valuable. So this is how we're gonna do it. So no matter where you go, no matter what state you land in, no matter what area you're in, you can make money. All right, now the third career that I have for you guys is a web developer. I struggle with this one only because you must go to school to learn web developing for the vast majority of people. There are people that can learn it on their own and get into the field of web developing on their own. But for the vast majority of us, me included, I would have to go to school to learn how to do this. But if you did, sky's the limit, basically. Every large company, corporation, business has some type of web development that they need done and have some type of web presence. So you're basically, no matter where you go, you can make money. Now, like I said, usually you have to go to some type of schooling, preferably a community college, to get it as cheap as possible. They do have courses online that you can take. If you're serious, then those are some of the cheapest routes that you can take to become a web developer. Web developing, just like the other two careers, have an entry point. Once you get into that entry point, you have to make yourself, basically through hard work, become more valuable to whoever is looking at you for employment. Now, I know for sure there are plenty of certificates that you can get on your own to make yourself more appealing to an employer, which makes you more valuable. It really becomes up to you how hard you want to work and what type of field you want to go in. One thing we can't do this year, no excuses on unemployment, because honestly, as people become more comfortable and complacent, it makes it easier for somebody who is willing to work hard to go out and make a bunch of money. It really is. Now, here in Virginia, we do have an area where a lot of corporate companies are, and those corporate companies, 9 times out of 10, have servers in those areas. Right here in Richmond, we have a Facebook server building where they keep very large servers. It's a whole building full of servers for Facebook. So the job I'm going to show you is actually not in my area, but it's still in Virginia. It's in Vienna, Virginia, and it's for Navy Federal. So like before, I'm showing you high figures of jobs, but I want you to understand that what I'm showing you is the potential. You don't start off with 100 grand naturally. I started off in HVAC at 12 bucks an hour. So you don't start off at the top, but with consistent work, you can improve yourself to become a valuable person to where those figures are not foreign to you whatsoever. So looking at this job listing at Navy Federal, Empower Lending Developer, IT Engineer 3, 83 to 142,000 based on your ability to do the work that they need you to do. Those are astronomical figures in Richmond, Virginia. 82, you're doing pretty well in this area. Now I understand if you lived in like Houston or Miami, LA, New York, Chicago, I can understand that not being that great of income. For your markets, you got to scale up. Usually the pay is better. So somebody in New York doing the same type of job will probably be in the 260, almost 300 range because it's New York City. Like I said, this is an actual job listing here in Virginia, in Vienna. That's outside of DC. So these are actual jobs that I'm showing you, but that's the potential. First thing is get your foot in the door and become the best version of that particular skill. So in this series of videos, I'm trying to show you guys that there's money to be made out there if you're willing to do the work. That's the most important part. You gotta be willing to, number one, take the chance. If you're in a career and you're not happy with it, you gotta be willing to take the chance to hop out of that career, almost start at the bottom again, unfortunately. But with hard work and dedication in some of these fields, your income can be whatever you want it to be. And I do this with myself. Skills are very important, whether it be web developing, solar installation, or an electrician. Skills are very important. And the more you know about your particular field, the more valuable you become. So when you go to a company, if you're in a position where you're in a rut or whatever your situation is, it doesn't even matter. If you feel you deserve better money, make yourself a more valuable person. You will get to a point to where people are paying you what you feel you're worth. And that's what we're trying to do for 2023. No excuses. Another thing, if you are in any of these fields, please in the comment section, give people your story so they know what I'm saying is accurate. I'm not 100% accurate, but I know these fields make money and they are great careers. So if you are in these careers, it is imperative, being a part of this community, that you say something. Let people know your experience and say, hey, you know what, this is a great career for me. Even if it's not your lifelong career, it's a way for you to make money and sustain your life and your living. So please, if you're in these fields, put it in the comment section. Say, hey, yes, I do this. And yeah, I make great money and you should try it at least. 2023 is going to be a different year. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.